Let's make the dough for roti or parantha. We've got 3 cups of chapati flour. I'm gonna put it into my stand mixer. I've made a couple batches already, you can tell. And we've got 3 cups, 1.5 cups water. That's all I put in my recipe. Some recipes call for some salt, maybe some ghee, but I keep it very simple. We're gonna go ahead and let's put the water in. There it is, pretty easy. Let's put that down. We'll close it up. We're gonna make sure it's locked. We forgot to do that. No, I'm gonna do that right now. That's locked. And then we're going to get going on it. We'll start slow and then we'll gradually get it going. Now you can do this by hand in a bowl. I just like my stand mixer so I don't get my hands so dirty with the wet dough. Some people love that process. I find it kind of holds me back from doing this because I am so busy and it gets messy. Remember, when you're working with flour, and the key to really get nice, beautiful, fluffy rotis is to really get this, get air pockets in your gluten, in your flour, right? And that's how you're doing this, by the motion of working your flour. And again, you can do this by hand in a bowl. It's not a problem. That is the traditional way to do this. I'm just showing you my way. You could do it in a food processor as well. And as it starts to come together, you see that ball started to kind of come together. We got to make sure it's turned off. It's hard to shoot with just one hand. And I will get better at the technology one of these days. But for now, this is what you got. Let's go ahead and unlock it and let's push this up. And you see how the flour beautifully comes together. Now, even if you have a little bit of dry flour in the bottom, you just knead it. And let's go ahead and I want this to flip off, but there we go. Okay, I want it to flip off. And then we're just gonna go in here and take it and just do the end part of kneading it down. Because what this will do is it grabs all the last little bit of dry flour on the bottom. But do you see how perfectly this came together? And it was literally 3 cups of chapati flour, 1.5 cups water. So you can add a little bit of more water if you feel this is dry. And it usually has to do with how coarse your chapati flour is, the type of flour. If it feels too wet, then I would use a little bit less water. And if you've already made it and if it looks wet, just add a little flour to it to just kind of soak that up. Now, when I look at this, it looks great. It feels just a touch dry. So what I might do is just get my hands wet with a little bit of water, come back in here and just knead it for a minute or 2. And then what I'll do is once it looks beautiful, and of course I'm gonna knead it a little bit more before I get it in the bowl, I'll put it in a glass bowl and then cover it with a slightly damp cloth, paper towel or a dishcloth, and then just let it sit for about 15 minutes. And I feel like that really enables it to set, and it'll just be perfect for when you go to make your roti or your paranthi.